and it may be huge. A lot of economists, actual economists who know things, are very confused by Donald Trump's recent prediction that the United States is on the verge of a, quote, very massive recession. In an interview with the Washington Post published over the weekend, Donald Trump said that a combination of high unemployment, which he believes to be 20% bogus, and an overvalued stock market have set the stage for a big economic slump. He believes real unemployment is above 20%. This is a baseless talking point. That includes people who are retired. That includes junior and seniors in high school who are just going to school full time. It includes people choosing not to work. Only by including all of those individuals could you possibly get an unemployment rate even close to 20%. And a bunch of economists were asked about this, and they don't know what on earth Trump is talking about. Harm Bandholz, who's the chief U.S. economist at UniCredit Research in New York, said, "We're not heading for a recession, massive or minor, and the unemployment rate is not 20%. Other economists said, well, yeah, the stock market may be in a period of overvaluation, but we don't see any cataclysmic economic downturn originating in the United States. And the real big issue, Lewis, is if that were the case, electing Donald Trump is not going to avoid it, not even close. And that, I think, is whether or not you believe Trump on this, and he's been predicting huge economic downturns for a long time. And statistically speaking, at some point, there will be a downturn. And there has been one, of course, which we are only now recovering from. Donald Trump as president would not avoid a future downturn. And that, I think, is what we should be focusing on here.
This is really just typical campaign trail fear-mongering, but many people do believe that Donald Trump is the guy if there's economic hardship because of his businesses, because he touts himself as this business and money genius.
Sungwon Son, who's an economics professor at Cal State, said that there's about a 10% chance of an imminent recession at this point. And he said if it does happen, it would be because of what's happening overseas, especially in China and Europe. You'll know, of course, that Donald Trump has outsourced work to China. Somehow hiring him to be president would prevent that. Doesn't really make any sense whatsoever. And I will remind you that there was recently a study which actually placed Donald Trump being president as one of the greatest 10 economic world risks. So if economists are united on anything, it's that, number one, Trump has no clue what he's talking about. And number two, one of the biggest threats to the economy would be Donald Trump being the next president of the United States. We've got a very backward situation here, Lewis, in terms of the pot calling the kettle black, as it may be.
The economy would be the least of my worries with a Donald Trump presidency, right? I mean, I'd be more worried about a nuclear exchange of some sort.
After saying he wouldn't take nuking Europe off of the table.
Yeah.
FreshBooks is offering David Pakman Show listeners a 30-day free trial of their service. I'm obviously the host of the David Pakman Show, but I also run the business that is the David Pakman Show, and I want to spend as much time as possible on the show and growing and improving my business. So FreshBooks lets you get paid more quickly. It helps with invoicing. It helps with so many of those business administration tools. And it's for freelancers and small businesses who want to get organized on those issues and really focus on growing the business. So to get your 30-day free trial of FreshBooks and support the David Pakman Show, go to gofreshbooks.com/TDPS. That's gofreshbooks.com/TDPS.